Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Mic check, mic check. Let's see. All right. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Waiting for Gaston Garza to come on. Let's see here. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Comments. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. That's not a real mic. Joking. I got my earbuds on. Everything's backwards. All right, all right. Can you hear me? Let's see, let me throw that out there. Okay. I'm gonna make sure. Like, okay, here we go. That I see. Good morning, everyone. I should have tagged people. Is it too late? No, that's invite. Oh well. Rockyo Lilo 4485. What is that about? Can we have a mic check? Okay, I get a thumbs up. Y'all can hear me loud and clear. All right, we're gonna go. We're fixing an interview. We're about not fixing. We're about to interview. And there he is. Let me put him on stage here.
Hello.
Mr. Garza, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Rocky?
I am doing wonderful. Give me just a minute here. I'm going to go ahead and engage his the Bluetooth here. Connect my AirPods. That way we don't echo. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Let's see here. What's going on, Lawrence? Lawrence is watching from home right now. Lawrence going to be playing at a venue that I think Winter's Friday, I believe. Welcome back. I don't know if it's full time or temporary. Let's quick shout out to him. You know, want to say hi to our audience. I got I got Gaston Garza here. Gaston, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I can't complain. I'm currently in a kind of a conference, but I wanted to take time and make sure that I make it.
Well, I hope it's not an inconvenience. That's the first thing I want to say.
No, absolutely not. I was looking forward to connecting and looking forward to being here with you. I appreciate the offer, without a doubt, and I see you doing big things, and want to be a part of that.
All right, good deal. Well, right now we're streaming on 3 platforms. We're streaming actually on Facebook and my YouTube channel, also Instagram. So we'll see, what comes out of this,
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but my intention is, I'm a big networker. Not only, do the promoting and investing, in real estate, and I own a couple of companies. But I decided, since I network a lot, why not do why don't I just network online, and I don't have to go to the bars and stuff, and and listen to the same old song and dance. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I think when you have the person to person interaction, it's more you get more out of it, instead of a whole bunch of people in a group. Everybody's drinking, they're saying what they want to say. And here we are. I'm in my office, you're in your office, so we know the real deal. We know what's going on. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
sir. Yes,
And
sir.
I'm straight. I shoot from the hip. I rather hurt you with the truth than the lie. So if I say so I want to apologize in advance if I say if I say
Look
something
at
wrong.
you. No worries, man. I can definitely maneuver, and I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure, sure, absolutely. Well, my background, I was born and raised Houston, Texas, Denver Harbor. So, I've had humble beginnings, and I think did pretty good for the most part. McReynolds went to Wheatley 1 year, and then transferred to Fur, which was fantastic. I started DJing there in high school during the new wave era, the freestyle era, and the techno era. So
Okay.
I was doing that for a while. Very fun. Music and me go hand in hand, and those of you who know me will definitely agree. But my life changed in 2003, and the person you see in front of you right now was not the person I was back then. I got shot. I got shot with a fully automatic weapon, and it was North Side. I think North Side down Airline Drive. You know, um, attempted jacking, I guess. Three guys with guns came out, and I tried to get away, and he just shot randomly inside, and he hit me 3 times right above my knee on my inner thigh, and it was the worst day of my life. But you know what? Somehow it became the best day of my life. What happened is he could have killed me, so that's miracle number one. Miracle number two, he hit me 3 times within inches of each other, and he did not hit an artery. So that was miracle number two. Now miracle number three happened when I got out. I got out, and once it looked like a ghost town out there, and I assumed, looking at my leg after the fact that I fell, it was pretty mangled up. It was broken in 3 places. It was barely hanging on. So because I didn't see anyone, I assumed that I was going to die. So I started coming to grips with my death. I laid back, and I gave up. I honestly gave up. And when I gave up, a lady approaches me. This lady is crying for me as if she knew me. And she bends down, picks my head up from the pavement, and she looks me in my face and says, "You're not going to die. Everything's going to be okay." She said that in tears. And as soon as she said it, I heard sirens in the background. The pain, oh my good. I've never felt pain like that before, but it caused me to just grit my teeth and close my eyes. And I opened them up, and the lady was gone. And I truly believe that I was lucky enough to be visited by an angel when I gave up on that gas station floor. So that was '03. So '03, I had surgery to put my leg back together. Luckily they didn't hit an artery, and luckily they were able to save it. So they had gave me hardware. So '03, I had hardware, major surgery, another major surgery in '04, take out all the hardware, and then '05, knee replacement. So I actually have a metal knee. You've seen me walk before, and it looks like nothing ever happened. So that's a blessing. So those 3 years were the worst years of my life, and I hit what's called rock bottom. I was rehabbing the third surgery in Southwest Houston in a rehab facility. I was by myself. One night I was by myself, and I felt sorry for myself. I was crying my eyes out, desperate, PTSD, you name it. I went through it. But here's where everything changed. One night, bawling my eyes out, I made a conscious decision to erase everyone's number from my phone. I basically reformatted the old Nokia brick phone, those old ones,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
and then I got to the side of the bed, and I raised up my hands and looked at the ceiling with tears running, and I said, God, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't even know where to begin, but whatever you want me to do, I will do. And I meant it. And that was the beginning of my life transforming. I think the very first blessing I got once I got home, I had a dream, and I got to see Jesus, and I got to speak to him. Probably another conversation, but that was blessing number one. Blessing number two, I ran into my old childhood friend. His name is Alex Rodriguez, and I hope he doesn't mind me, sharing this. But he ran into me at his aunt's birthday party. His tia Elena, you know, so his cousins own DH Tire in Denver Harbor. Caesar and Jerry. We
Familiar with it.
grew up together, and so we went to his birthday, his aunt's birthday party. I was with my parents, and he said, "What are you gonna do, man?" I said, "I have no idea, brother." He goes, "Let's go outside." So I went outside. We gave each other, because I hadn't seen him in I don't know how long. And then he said, "Look, man, I'm gonna fly down to Dallas. If you like what we're doing, I got a job for you." And I'm like, "Whoa, really?" So I went to Dallas, thanks to Alex for that one shot, man. I went to Dallas with no money, no car, no business attire, a suitcase, and a trash bag, bro. And I was so desperate to change my life because I just made that decision. Keep in mind, it's funny because I was saved at a Baptist church there in Denver Harbor called Faith Memorial Baptist Church. Brother Mathis, I was in my teens when I got saved and I got baptized. And I started realizing once, all this stuff passed, God never left my sight. I left his sight. And I've truly believed that divine intervention happened that night to make me realize I was on the wrong path. I needed to change. And because I surrendered, he allowed me to see wisdom, understanding, knowledge, you name it. And it trickled in. And I say that because he's not going to give any of us what we're not ready for. Right. And that night when I surrendered, that was the moment. That was the aha moment. And then, so I came to Dallas and worked for Stream Energy. So Alex Rodriguez was one of the 5 founders of an electricity company called Stream Energy. Stream Energy was this very successful company. I believe we did $1 billion in sales in 3.5 years. And I stayed there for 9 years. And he tapped me on the shoulder. And I think we started 4 other companies. So technically from 06, 15 years later, I did 5 startups with Alex in a 15-year period. I've learned so much about businesses, about building businesses, about wearing every hat in a startup. And so I went to Dallas with no money. So in 06, by 09, I had bought my first home, and it was truly a blessing. And because I come from humble beginnings, when I was there in my house, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe how far I came in a short period of time. So Alex taught me a lot, and he was a friend. So he was even harder on me than he would be with other people. I mean, and sometimes I didn't want to take it, but in hindsight, I'm like, I thank him, and I thank him all the time. And I'm sure he gets tired of me thanking him because that one shot. So I founded my first company called the Angel House Cleaning. So we do commercial residential cleaning here in North Dallas, and then I got a relationship. I had 2 kids, and man, it's crazy. So one morning, I was kind of conversating. I had a aha moment where I understood that, I was helping Alex, and by all means, I love helping him because he helped me. But then I started realizing I want to do my own thing, so I got into the insurance business, um, and also on the financial side, financial services. So now I currently have three companies: the Angel House Cleaning. I also have HereComesProtection.com, which is a property and casualty company. We do um, home, auto, renters, commercial, all these different types of insurance. And I came up with that name because it's really catchy. HereComesProtection.com. But the third company is Opus One. Now, when I got introduced to financial services, I basically said, "This is my dream job," because here's what God showed me. He showed me that, number one, money doesn't mean what it used to mean anymore. Yes, it's a tool, but it could be the root of all evil in your life as well. Because money, excess, those type of things. And I'm not perfect by any means or any stretch of the imagination, but I do my best. And ever since that day, I live my life completely different. I fall just like everybody else does, but the main thing is I get up every single day, and I'm blessed. I pray as soon as I get up. I repent as soon as I get up, and now I understand that my calling in life, the purpose, the whole reason He saved me, was to help other people. And I truly am doing that with my company, because for me, it's not about, hey, I want to sell this, I want to sell that. No, I want to see how I can serve and how I can help the other individual, the other family, the other business owner. If I can have a conversation, and if that conversation leads to something else, then I'm going to do my best to help that person. And because I'm licensed here in Texas, I am legally obligated to do what's best for my clients. And I take that very serious. And I've helped people, and I have testimonies from people, and Alex as well. But at the end of the day, everything ties into that one day that I got shot. And man, I'm so blessed. And I typically tell people, because I've shared my testimony hundreds of times, hundreds of times. And I will not stop doing that, because that is part of my calling. That's part of my purpose here. And what I do is I will do this until my last dying breath. I truly believe that leading people to Christ, allowing Christ to be that intervene between Christ and God, and allowing the Holy Spirit to guide you. Those three things go together. And I remember clearly, here in Dallas, I was working for a startup with Alex and my cleaning company during the pandemic. It almost took me out. It almost took me out. But what I started doing, and I started Ubering, just to make ends meet back in 2019. And my goodness, man, I still do it from time to time, only because I run into people. God puts people in my path that either need help or they may need to hear my story. And I've had wonderful encounters. I've gotten clients from just Ubering. I am truly blessed, my friend. And I say this with all sincerity. If people here would have been through would have all the pain and everything that I've been through, there would be no non-believers, because I have enough. I've been through enough, and God has showed me. I actually had two different dreams, where God actually, one, He spoke to me from the clouds, and the other one, I actually felt His grace in another dream. And of course, those are stories for maybe another time. But if anybody wants to hear my testimony, please reach out. I would love to share it. I would love to visit churches. That is my calling. That is my duty. My duty is to share my story as many times as possible and help as many people as I can. And of course, financial services are a wonderful thing. And I say that because my upbringing, my mom and dad were financially illiterate. We didn't have the education that we didn't have the knowledge and the wisdom behind how to pass down generational wealth. Why is life insurance so important? All these different questions that I can answer now are very important, because that's what I do now, and I would love to help anyone, whether you're a person, whether you're a young person, because it starts very early. And I typically say, if I would have learned what I've learned when I was very young, my outcome right now would have been completely different. You know, but individuals, families, um, business owners, and of course, individuals who want to start their business. I teach people how to start it, how to get an LLC, how to create it correctly so you can tap into business credit and build that dream of yours. And of course, I'm not done. I have two different companies in the back burner right now. One with my brother, but I won't stop. I just feel the need to reach people, whether it be through business, because I always share my story, even if I'm gonna have to have a one-on-one, or I'm gonna do more, maybe some I guess marketing or networking. I always start with my story. Because I want them to know who I am, where I came from, and how that ties into my business. And that's kind of me in a nutshell, man. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I definitely want to get a shout out to Rocky. Rocky, ever since I've known him, he is like the hardest working guy in this promoting business. And my hats off to you, Rocky. I truly, admire your go getting attitude. I think you froze. Are you there? Or did I freeze? Oh, I think he froze. I think he'll pop back on. Come on, Rocky. Are you there? All right, let's wait. Let's wait it out, guys. I do see people on here. Yeah, he froze. His battery probably died. I don't know. I'm just playing. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if I can be of assistance, I'm sure I'm going to ask him to share my contact information and my digital card. It'll tell you a little bit more about who I am and what I do. So we'll get that out as soon as I can. I guess we'll wait it out. I wish I could ask questions or ask someone to ask questions. The clock is still running. No, can't hear you. I see you on. Should I jump off and come back in? You're in the show. Nope, can't hear you. We might have to do a redo. Oh, here we comes. There you go. You can, I
Can you
can,
hear me?
yeah, I can.
All right, sorry about that. We got an outage over here.
Oh man, sorry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, we it kicked me off. So I'm using my hotspot right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, I mean, I don't know how much you heard, but I ended it kind of giving you props because you are one hardworking promoter, my friend. Just a little time that I've known you, you're doing your thing, man, and I appreciate you allowing me to come on here to speak.
No problem at all. No, I'm glad you come on board and just share this information with everyone here. Um, it looks like a lot of people got kicked off, but anyways, let's just proceed because it's also recording.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I
So
saw the timer. The timer didn't stop, so I was able to finish my story in a little bit about what I do. Do you have any questions for me?
I do have questions. One thing is, and I'm gonna work backwards. I'm gonna go from office to insurance and then to house cleaning, okay?
Sure,
Because we're just gonna backtrack.
sure.
Um, Now, Opus is what is it like a financial advising company or
Yeah, I'm actually a financial representative. There are different categories in the financial world. However, because I am with Opus One, there's a lot of talent that I can tap into, and so anything that you see on Opus One website, I can help with. I may need to bring a couple of partners in on whatever it is that we're looking for. What I typically do is just have a conversation. I don't go into any detail. What I like to do is I like to find out, what their goals are, how I can help, what questions, what keeps them up at night. I start off with those. That way, I can. There's a starting point, and if it makes sense to have another conversation, hey, we can have another conversation. The very first conversation is just a little bit about me and a little about that, a little about the other side, whether it be business or personal, and find out what they have, what their financial situation is, and then we move forward from there. But in regards to financial services, we do it all, and we also have software called the Living Balance Sheet that they get to tap in for free, and it basically has pretty much your financial picture. It's a living, breathing balance sheet, so it gives you your net worth every 24 hours once you plug in your information.
okay? Is that part of the program that you
Yes,
have? Okay,
yeah,
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 okay.
absolutely, it is.
All right, now financial finances. We talked about education. Do you hold classes, financial classes for consumers?
Yes, yeah, I have in the past. Being juggling three companies, I've actually strategically set those up. But yeah, I'm here for any type of educational. But I will. I think I'm gonna turn that back on. But I have in the past for sure.
Okay. Now, let's say somebody needs a phone call, right? Is there a consult charge or how's that work?
Typically,
Let's say
some
I'm
people
interested.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, some
yeah.
some people do, but for me, I'm going to say there's never a charge. The only time there's a charge is maybe if we're when you transfer money or if you roll over some type of you know
ROA or
investment, stuff like that.
okay.
I don't want to get too much in detail because being a license, it's a very strict industry. But
Right.
yes, there could be charges. But for me, for a consultation, no, $0, 0 cents.
And you're based out of Dallas, Texas, is that correct?
I'm in Dallas and in Houston. I balance between both. I have partners in Houston, and I have, but my office is in Dallas. I have an office off the tollway in Arapahoe. If anybody knows where that's at, I'm on the fifth floor. But yeah, I definitely have office, and then of course I have a partner where I can access an office in Houston, and I think they're off the tollway, I believe. Yeah, I think they're off the tollway off of Sam
Okay.
Houston. But yeah,
Okay.
we definitely and a Zoom would work perfectly fine as well.
Okay. Let's see what else I got here. Da. All right. So right now, what we want to do is just go ahead and are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you went blue on me. The
Oh,
screen. So, anyways, right now, go to in the chat. Put your the Opus One and your phone number. That way, if viewers want to grab it later, is the information there?
okay.
If you
Just a
can do
minute.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I am going to. Let me see.
If you want to put your website.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my digital card.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is. I just think I wasn't ready. I was gonna. Shoot.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go grab like a flashlight or lighting. That way.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, where are we at? P-O-P. There we go. Get logged in. All right. Share.
Let's see here.
And here we go.
It's pretty
That
bright.
is-
Oh well.
Link there will take you to my digital card. It'll tell you everything about me, my companies, and everything is there. I believe I have a calendar there as well if anybody wants to book a meeting. But it's all there at your fingertips.
Okay. All right.
Phone number, email, you name it. It's all there.
All right.
Are you pulling it up?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Cool.
All right. All right. So just briefly on your Opus One, just I know that you cover a lot.
Yeah.
From investing. Is that correct too?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely do that there. I would encourage someone to go to the Opus One website, opus1.com, and take a look. We take care of pretty much any type of financial service, but it's strategic. It's we're not there to sell you anything. We're there to find out how we can help. We home in on your goals. What type of goals are you looking? When would you like to retire? How much money would you like to retire? Do you know what your greatest asset is? And I'll give that to you. Anyone I speak to, I typically ask them what their greatest asset is. Some people would say, "Well, I got a car and I got a home." I typically say, the greatest asset that you have is your income. So let's just say, for roundabout numbers, if you make $100,000 a year, multiply that times the rest of the time that you have until retirement. So it could be 5, it could be 10, 15, 20 years. You multiply that by your salary, and your salary is probably going to go up. That is the biggest asset that you have. And that's what you want to protect first and foremost. We always protect first, because if something happens, Lord forbid, and it doesn't take you out, but it allows you to live, but you can't do what you do before, man, some protections need to be in place, because that money that you assumed that was coming in another 15, 20 years is automatically stopped. And those are the type of things that we kind of think about. A lot of people don't think about the things that we talk about. And I ask some tough questions. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Those tough questions is, are you prepared if something happens? What if you and your wife something happens? I had that conversation just yesterday with a family, and they realize how important it is to be prepared. And that's kind of in a nutshell. That's where we start, and it feels good for people, for me to see and understand that people, once they talk about it, they're like, oh wow, we don't have anything in place.
So you just like map it out for them. Hey, if you want to get there, this you gotta follow this step, but you gotta do it.
Yeah,
Don't quit halfway. Just go through it, and you're
yeah,
gonna be safe.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
so
Yeah,
a lot of people struggle. They live in check to check, and and this is just me thinking outside the box.
sure.
Let's say I'm a home buyer, and I
Hmm.
don't want to do the 35 years or so. So I want to pay more on the principal, and try to get out early. That's something you can show them as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we help with debt reduction as well. I have a partner who does credit repair. I mean, there's so many things, but but that's why a conversation is so important, because without that conversation, without a baseline, so to speak, here's where we're at, here's where we want to go. How do we get there? Okay, well, I have a team here at Opus One, and we can help you get there.
But you got to be transparent and honest. I know we're embarrassed. There's times that we're embarrassed. We don't
Yeah,
want to disclose everything. But if you're transparent and honest, I mean, it's going to help you do your job even better, right? Is that correct?
absolutely, absolutely. You know what? I rarely get that, Rocky. So thank you for saying that, because yes, there's so many different avenues. There's pre-tax, there's already tax, and there's like basically three buckets that you can go your investments in. A Roth is something that's taxed already, but a 401k, a regular 401k, is not. And I don't want to get too deep in that, but everyone's different. Every family, every business owner is different.
Yeah. No, y'all are gonna have different situations. I know that. I have a little finance behind me too. I own a mortgage brokerage, right?
Okay.
So a lot of times, the clients they just try to hide stuff, but it all comes out. I'm like, we're behind schedule, behind you getting into a house because you're not being fully honest with us. You're not disclosing everything, and
Right.
here it is. You didn't tell me, you bought a car after you applied, or whatever it may be, right? But this also comes along with education, you know,
Absolutely.
and that's
Absolutely.
that's and that's what you're for. Now, we're gonna get off of Opus One real quick. Now, let's talk insurance, right?
Sure.
Now, there's different types of insurance. You say you cover multiple insurance, right?
Yeah,
So, do you
absolutely.
incorporate a part of the insurance company that you have into Opus One for savings and so on?
Yeah.
I kind of feel that, but go ahead.
So Opus One is financial services, are also investments, and kind of a game plan, so to speak. Uh, my company, HereComesProtection.com, is strictly property and casual. So you have home, auto, renters, liability, commercial, and of course, I am actually about to offer Medicare for those 65 and older. I'll be offering that probably in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. But that is property and casual, and I included life into that. Life is kind of on the financial services, because you plan life insurance depending on what type of life insurance, and long term care. You can add that to it. You can do whole life. You can do a variety of different things, but it all has to be strategic in that person. But yeah, life insurance is included in HereComesProtection.com. But most of the time, I talk about that during the financial service conversation.
Okay.
And,
Um,
and, and just a little, and just a tidbit. So that Here Comes Patricia it's actually a brokerage. So what sets me apart from other, I guess, insurance companies. So my brokerage is probably, we have maybe 80 to 100 carriers. So what I do is I typically take my potential customers, information, whether it be a home or auto insurance, and I send it to all the carriers for that particular policy. Now, here's the interesting part. So the best policy at the lowest price, because they're all A-rated, basically wins the business. So I do the shopping for you. And a lot of people respect that and like it. I'll just go to Gaston. And he'll find me the best policy at the lowest rate. Boom.
Okay, sounds good. Let me ask, somebody say that you froze.
Oh, I
I'm
froze.
gonna, yeah, let me, don't touch nothing. Let me
Okay.
confirm, that. Okay, looks like you're back.
Okay. Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
it may be the hotspot. Nothing's changed on my side.
Okay, it may be my hotspot thing, yeah. Just to let you guys know, I'm doing an interview with Gaston here, and we have a power outage, and I got
Oh,
knocked off. I had to come back in. So just in case you see me in the dark. Well, you don't see me in the dark because I got this LED that I went to go get, and then the background. But yeah, that's what happened earlier.
all right.
So
All right.
yeah, now what are some of your toughest questions when it comes to let's say let's talk car insurance, all right? Let's talk car insurance.
Okay.
We don't know. We just want car insurance, right? We want the cheapest car insurance. People want the cheapest car insurance, and everybody
Right.
goes liability, right? Because it's liability, right? But let's say you want full coverage, and then they ask you all these questions. I mean, you don't even understand. You just want to. I just got a car. Need put insurance on it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this big packet that they send you, and it's got, I mean, tons of information. Is there like somewhere in that packet that we have to be extra careful, or we have to read, or have to read the whole entire package and try to understand it? It's like almost, you know, reading a doctor's report without
Yeah.
having knowing the medical terms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, they're legally obligated to put that packet together. I don't want to get too deep into that because the carriers put that together for two reasons. They want to protect themselves. There's a lot of fraud out there, right? And there's information in there that basically says, hey, well, you can do this, you can't do that. Here's what you're covered for, and here's what you're not covered for. In a nutshell, the declaration page is the one that you want to look at. It basically says if you have full coverage and how much full coverage you have. And if it's great to be able to afford 50 to 80,000 per incident, but let's face it, I don't even have that. But here's where that comes into play. Let's just say you have a wreck with a Ferrari or Mercedes Benz, right? And and it's your fault. You total that car, and you only have 30,000 of insurance. Well, that 30,000 is going to be used up. And if you happen to push that Ferrari into a BMW, well, now you're on the hook for two different cars, and that is how you can be underinsured, if that makes sense.
No, that makes plenty of sense.
Yeah.
Um, you know, when we talk, I must say, car insurance, vehicle insurance, people just frown on that, because, and I'm gonna tell you what I experienced, right? And no offense, but this is a talk show. We're being real, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm leaving a place of business, and I got the right of way, and this car, he comes, it's a two-way street, right? So he
Sure.
comes my way, but he comes into my lane. So I didn't want to have a head-on collision. So what I do, I jumped a curve and I hit a fence. So and I'm gonna say it because it happened. What did
Yeah.
Progressive do? What did Progressive do?
They denied
They,
you?
they denied me because guess what?
What?
Failure to control my vehicle. I go,
You got a
okay, so
ticket. Did
so
they give you
no,
a ticket?
I didn't get a ticket. But the deal is they didn't want to pay for the repair.
Did you
Should,
also did you have property damage coverage?
I don't have the slightest idea, right? And this,
Yeah.
as a consumer, you asking the right questions. You go into your information, boom, they tell you, okay, you have this. Again, they send you a big packet. The last thing you want to do is read a phone book, right?
Yes.
So I'm being honest. So I
Yeah.
go, so I called them and said, you're not gonna fix my truck. I mean, should I just have a head-on collision and maybe there's casualties? But
Mhm.
because they said, oh, you failure to control your vehicle, I'm like, that makes no sense, right?
Um, yeah, that sounds kind of weird.
It
The
almost
only
it
thing that
almost sounds like they want your business, but they don't want to support you, when you do that
yeah,
or something like that.
yeah. How
So,
long ago was this?
oh, this was years ago.
Okay, all right.
Years, yeah, we're talking about before 2000. It's just, and a lot of things have changed. I remember insurance back in the 80s, 90s. Is back then. Not what they had mileage. If you got it the pocket, they don't want to cover you or something like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, it varies, and those are the type of things that are discussed during the policy, right? If they don't tell you, that you're not covered for X, Y, Z, shame on them. But it shouldn't be. If you get the right insurance, you're covered no matter where you're at in the United States, of course, right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah, but I don't understand if you're not in a certain vicinity. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think I was trying to get a quote for somebody, and they wanted me to, well, how many miles do you ride a day or drive a day? Is that your primary car? Do you have secondary? And how far do you go? Kind of like, just keeping me in a bubble, right?
Yeah.
We never know when we're going to go out of the bubble. Does that mean if we go out of the
No,
bubble, we're
you're
not in
still
the bubble?
covered. That information will go down as information they're going to use to give you that quote. But at the end of the day, you're not in the bubble. You should still be covered.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And this is stuff that I experienced in the past. I'm like, okay, now I got commercial insurance and I got everything on there. So,
Yeah, well, good, good. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I appreciate the question. I've spoke to a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of quotes for a variety of different people, and I've heard it. I've heard it all. But at the end of the day, you're right. If you can help someone understand what they have, what they don't have, then you could possibly have a client, for life, because you've not only have you earned their business, you've earned their trust, and they
You
know that.
educate them. Yeah.
Yeah, and they know that you got their back. That's typically that's one of the reasons why I don't sell. I serve. It works.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's good. That's a great way to put it down.
yeah.
Another thing that happened to me a couple of years ago. So I'm at a stoplight, okay, and all of a sudden I got rear-ended, and I'm the first one at the stoplight. I got rear-ended on the left-hand driver's side, in the back,
Right.
and they launched me through the light onto a gas station. And then this guy, the momentum, he was like right beside me. It was like two impacts at the same time. He hit me, it launched me, and then he hit me again, and he crashed his SUV into a tree. Right now,
Hmm.
this is where it gets tricky. Of course, you have your sharks out there. Oh, you're in an accident. Come on over here. We take care of you. The physical therapy and all this.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the MRI, go doctor's visit, hospitals. Let's go to the hospital, let's get a. So I did all that, right? So throughout the process, they're investigating, right? So this guy had had insurance the day before, the day of the accident. He didn't have insurance, and the day after he had insurance. How does that work? Because
Wow.
yes,
So if he doesn't have insurance on the day that the accident happened, there's no coverage. That's why you have full coverage. Liability only takes care of what happens when and it's your fault. That's what
well, he has
liability takes care of.
He had
But
full coverage,
if it's still not if it wasn't your fault, obviously, because you got hit from behind, and
right?
if he doesn't have insurance, then he has no coverage. And the only way to get something out of that particular person is probably the legal. You have to sue.
Yeah, he had a claim.
Yeah, but that's unfortunate, man. Wow.
Well,
I mean,
that's what the law firm said, Mr. Levo. We investigated. He had insurance the day before. He was not insured the day of the accident, and the day after he had insurance again. So
wow. That
if you
that
total your vehicle, why would you get full coverage on a total vehicle? It just doesn't make no sense.
wow. That's crazy, man.
And that's what baffles me. I don't have an answer. I mean, I've been searching for an answer. How is it that, like I said, you have insurance on 2 days, but the day of the accident you didn't have insurance, which is right in the middle, right?
The only way that can happen is if he didn't pay his premium and they canceled him, and then the following day he paid his premium and they turned him back on.
But why would you pay your premium when you have a total loss on your vehicle? Why? I mean,
Maybe
that don't make no sense.
maybe he got a ticket. Maybe they gave him a ticket and he had to prove that he had insurance, but he didn't have it at the day of the accident, which is wow, which is hard. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to make sense of that.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. All right. So we covered Opus One. We covered the insurance. Now let's go to the house cleaning. Is that something that do you do post cleanup, like after, because I do
Construction.
investing, right? New
Yeah.
construction or remodels,
Yeah.
or is it just, a certain area, you stay in?
Well, the business that we get is probably on the North Dallas side. North and Northwest is where most of our clientele is at. We stay pretty busy almost year round. But yeah, we do commercial and residential and post construction. We've done that. We've actually done clinics, warehouses, you name it. So for the cleaning here in Dallas and soon to be in Houston, I don't want to. I actually want to expand to Houston because obviously there's a lot of business there. So on the cleaning, it's really real simple, man. What I typically do, even when I'm networking, I basically say, look, what we typically do is we come out, we do a walkthrough, we give you a quote, not an estimate. We give you an actual quote because the last thing a potential client wants to see is say, "Oh, I'm going to give you an estimate 150," and then you get there and you look at it like, "Oh, I got to charge you 200 because of the way it looks." So we typically go out there, give you an estimate. If you like the numbers, we get you on the schedule, and it's pretty much that easy. So walk through and a quote. It's just good business, man.
Right. And a lot of consumers don't know the difference between an estimate and a quote too. They think it's the same thing because you're getting a number, period, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Trust me. And I always say, instead of over or underestimating, we're just going to give you a quote. Hey, and if you decide that it's too expensive or you don't want to move forward, no harm, no foul. At least we gave you a quote, and you know where we stand.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
All right. So you have we were almost at the hour there. So you have a financial company, insurance company, and a house cleaning. Now, the financial company, you have two locations, one in Houston and one in Dallas. What about the insurance company?
Insurance company is all Texas, the entire state of Texas. So anyone can shop their coverage through me. I created the website, so there's actually a form there. So if you want to, let's just say, I want to see if I can save any money through the carriers that Here Comes Protection has, then what we'll do is we'll take that information and get them a quote for the best, maybe one or two quotes. Everybody always wants the cheapest, right? But I want to match apples to apples. So if you have a declaration page, there's a place to upload it. upload that declaration page. You can even take off the prices. My ultimate goal is to give you the same coverage. Well, first of all, find out what the coverage is. If it's under what you would typically get, then I will make that suggestion. But at the end of the day, I can match apples to apples, give them a quote from five, six carriers, find out which one is the best because they all fluctuate. Because
Right.
one of the reasons why they fluctuate is because they have a bottom line, right? And if the profitability for that month or that 2 months is up, they might scale back or they might do a special where that they have done that from time to time. And of course, I try to promote that when I can. But yeah, matching apples to apples. Here, this is what you have, and this is what I'm offering. It's the same coverage, but here's our price.
Right. Quick question. That
Sure.
we're talking insurance. Why is your credit so important when y'all make a decision?
I think when the carrier asks for that, it's basically to find out if you pay your bills. A lot of people will. Yeah, I've had people ask me this, Gaston, can I get insurance for 2 days? 2 days? No, that's not how it works. They just want to show proof of insurance and get the hell out.
They want to get their ticket dismissed.
Yeah, man. I honestly couldn't believe that. I'm like, yeah, but you'd be surprised.
Yeah. So,
People,
quick question. Another question I have. Back in the day, you can get a fake insurance card and go show it to them, or a buddy will print out one for you. Go show it, get a ticket dismissed. Now, Texas are always, trying to find a way, to stop that. Now,
yeah.
is it right? I mean, is it true that now they can type your place and know that if you have insurance or not? Because
What you talking about, like a police officer?
yeah.
I believe they can. I'm not positive. I'm not a cop, but from what I understand is, yeah, I'm sure that computer that they have is pretty smart. I am probably 80% uh, basically say that they can definitely see it. Now, will they?
Let's check it out.
Yeah, will they allow you to know that? Probably not. I don't know why that is, but that's kind of over my head.
I, I, what you call oh,
You're breaking up, Rocky.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, I did a California road through a stop sign. I didn't make the whole complete stop. I just kind of eased into it and I took off, and I got pulled over. And I have insurance, like I said, like I mentioned earlier. And he didn't even ask me. He goes, yeah, no. He goes, do you have your insurance card? I go, yeah, it's on my phone. Here, give me a minute. He goes, don't worry about it. And he went to his cruise and came back. He goes, I'm just gonna give you a warning, but next time. I
Yeah.
go, you don't need to see my insurance. He goes, no, I got it. So I didn't know, if it's something that you knew for sure or not, but maybe
Yeah.
maybe he's seen it in their
I'm
system.
I'm I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're able to see that without a doubt.
Yeah, because technology's come a long way, anyways.
Oh,
All
heck
right,
yeah.
so the house cleaning, is there a price per foot that you do? How do um, okay, after I have five, is it how do you price it? Or do you go in and say this is going to be
You're kind of breaking up again.
okay? Your house cleaning quotes, is that done
Yeah.
by
You're
square
talking
foot
in regards to
or by
pricing. The
yeah?
only true estimate that we give are typically apartments, because apartments, they're cookie cutter, right? As long as we know the square footage and how many rooms and how many bathrooms, we can definitely give estimates for that. That's not a problem. But in regards to we have to see it because let's face it, man. I've personally walked into a home and there's stuff everywhere, you know, and you have to account for that. And
Right.
unfortunately, you know, manpower costs money, and we do the logistics, and we run the numbers. But yeah, I typically stick, especially large homes, mansions, those type of places. You know, we typically do a walkthrough, and then, you know what, I've gotten a lot of respectable comments in regard to that, and I've actually won business because we gave them a quote, and some other people will just, well, here's an estimate. It's between this number and that number.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Yeah. All right. We're coming to well, we already hit
Yes.
our hour. Is there anything else you want to add, or you just want to give us a brief recap of, your businesses that we spoke about today? And I'm gonna leave the floor to you. So you just recap.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't get that last part. What you said, you kind of broke up a little bit.
I said I'm gonna give you the floor right now so you can recap on the business that we spoke about. If you want to
Oh,
add anything else
absolutely.
that we left out that's very important that you want to get out there to the viewers. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen,
So the floor
just
is all yours. So let's just get a recap. Yeah.
yeah. So I just if I can help it in any way, even if it's just a conversation, um, just reach out. Please click my link there. It'll tell you about my businesses, and just know that a conversation with me don't cost you a dime. I can answer those questions that keep you up at night, whether it be insurance, whether it be financial services, maybe a direction. I want to build wealth. Build wealth. I want to pass down generational wealth. I want to make sure that we have a will, we have a trust, all those type of things that I can get you connected with. There's an army behind Opus One, and I can allow you to tap into all those avenues, so to speak. So yeah, I'm here to help and I'm here to serve. And there's anything I can do, please, by all means, please reach out.
All right. And
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you, man.
this is Gaston. Hey, no
Yes, sir.
problem. Thank you for coming on and doing this interview and educating people, let them know what you do and
Yes,
how
sir.
you can help them. So
I'll
thank you
I'll be in Houston probably this
so much,
weekend.
and
So
maybe
I'll
we'll
catch up
get
with you.
a second interview after later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Did you
appreciate
hear me?
that. Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Okay. All right. All
Yeah,
right.
and I'll probably be in
All
Houston
right.
this
Let's be
weekend.
good.
So I'll hit you up.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
All right. All right. Take care.
All right. God bless. God bless.
You as well. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.